What is up, Chad? Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday of Leading the Charge. We are about 3-ish minutes from hitting our TV debut. Of course, the stream is going to go throughout the entire show, even during commercial breaks. This is where on the chat, whether you're watching this on our YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, wherever you might be live streaming this, send us questions, comments, concerns. We have two very fun guests lined up. Our friends from 13 Wham in Rochester and Buffalo Plus, Jenna Cottrell and Dan Fates. And I think Jenna is here. I want to pop Jenna up real quick to make sure that we can all hear her and test her mic. Jenna.
Hello.
Jenna, hello. How are you?
Hi. How's it going?
I'm doing great. I love, I'm somebody if I pop on a podcast, I don't have the nice mic with a nice backdrop. Like you, Dan, Mike.
We try.
Nice things. And I'm just on my kitchen table with an AirPod, basically, just being just absolutely wilding out here. So.
No, I get it. Believe me. I was just cleaning my house, if that makes you feel better.
Oh, I'd say, listen.
So this might look professional, but this is
not. But no, yeah. So hopefully, I think Dan will be in here sometime soon. He told me he is going to come down to the wire in typical Dan Fates fashion, but I believe in him. He'll be here. So
yeah,
lots of fun things to talk about. We'll rejoin you in a little bit here. We want to go and just wait till we pop up on TV. All right, cool. Well, hey, hello, and how are you, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Leading the Charge on a Monday. I am Dom Tibbetts. We have a very jam-packed show ready to go here. Two very special guests joining me. Of course, send your questions, comments, concerns on the live stream, wherever you are watching this. If it's online, on our YouTube, our Facebook, our X. If you're on air, hop over on your device. Share your comments, questions, concerns, because the guests we have brought on are all about it. They know exactly what the setup is. From 13 Wham in Rochester and the Buffalo Plus podcast, it is Jenna Cottrell and Dan Fates. Hi, guys. Happy Monday.
Hey, hi. How are you? How you doing?
Hey, hello, and how are you, Dan? Dan made it in. Jenna popped up on the stream real quick to set up the microphone, and it was about 3 minutes out, and I go, Dan's coming. I know he'll be here, but he'll be right on, pressed right up against the gun necessarily here on the deadline. But you did it. You made it.
I made it. And if you hear kids screaming upstairs or a cat running through my camera, just know everything's okay.
Awesome. And if you do hear kids screaming in your house, Jenna, is that a call for the police? Not sure if I'm getting Jenna's microphone.
What did it say? Can you hear me?
Oh, there it is. Now we got her.
Say? I don't have kids, so that would be something.
Well, as much as we can talk about Dan's kids or Jenna I's fictional kids, this week, the big news, guys. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, we knew St. John Fisher was going to be once again the home to training camp, but the Bills are going to be on Hard Knocks. This is so exciting. I did some research. They're one of the very few NFL teams that hadn't made an appearance on Hard Knocks too. And the training camp one, that's kind of always my favorite version of Hard Knocks that they do compared to the in-season one. Give me both just kind of your reaction when you saw the Bills get on Hard Knocks. Dan, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I was surprised. And obviously was a big reason is because of the rule change. They changed the guidelines because usually if you were a playoff team, you weren't able to be on it. So that's a cool moment for us. Obviously, like we're here in Rochester to feature the community to, like I said, and don't get me wrong, Dom, we're going to be watching all of those episodes being like, there I am. Did you see me? I'm right back there. So for as cool as it is for the players, like I said, I got to talk to Reed Ferguson earlier this week and talking to him, and he kind of mentioned like, they were surprised. So like they weren't even fully aware that they could be on it. So it's a cool moment again to highlight the team, the facilities at St. John Fisher, the surrounding Pittsford area, and as well, we're going to get some camera time on HBO.
And what I think is cool too is just because the Bills do go away from camp for camp, they're one of the only NFL teams to still do that. So the fact that it's going to be Rochester, obviously, look, you're in Buffalo, Dom. You get it. It's the Buffalo Bills, but there's so many Bills fans here in Rochester. So to get to focus on the area here and just how beloved the Bills are here as well and get a little shine for Rochester and for Pittsford, it's going to be really cool. And I think for all of us, like I saw the Adam Schefter notification and I was like, I must have read that wrong. Like I was like, wait, the Bills on Hard Knocks. So just to see it and have some shine come to the area, it's going to be really cool because I think, training camp is a special time here anyways, but then the added of excitement of all the cameras, I have friends and family being like, can you get me on camera? I'm like, guys, I don't chill out, but I know it ratchets up just how much people are looking forward to camp yet again in this summer.
Yeah, no, my mom was like, I think I have to buy an HBO subscription now because I want to see you, I want to see your summertime tan on HBO. It's going to be so cool. I'm like, Mom, they're going to get a shot of like my left ear, Dan's hand, and maybe the back of Jenna's head if we're lucky, right?
I was going to say, I'm going to call it now, though. I think Dan Fates will get a question in. Like, I think they're going to have a camera zoom in on Dan.
It'll be like question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like a sarcastic question to like Reed Ferguson about his Madden rating, and that will get like a little bit of a bite on HBO.
Yes, I see it now, Dan. I see it.
So we go to the comments here again. Questions, comments, anything, send them our way. We have a 3-person panel here, but really people are here for you and Jenna and Dan. So send them away. Lori Ann says, hi, Jenna, Dan, and Dom. Lori Ann says, have the dates come out yet for training camp? I don't have the specific dates come out.
I was going to say nothing officially yet, but obviously end of July, really like usually around the Wednesday, the Tuesday, maybe the move-in day, but usually that last week of July or early or towards later on in the month is when the Bills get here.
Yeah, and I'm expecting kind of a similar format as we have seen in the previous years. Obviously, it'll be maybe 2.5 weeks at Fisher. There'll be 12 practices. 10 will be open to the media or open to the public, and there'll be a lottery to get in to get tickets. I expect a similar type of jazz as there has been the last few years.
Well, as my Rochester people, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. So Hard Knocks is obviously, they always go to these alternate locations, and a couple notes that I had, I feel like the Pittsford Dairy immediately going to be on the list of places they go. There's probably a few others, but as somebody who has gone to training camp the last 3 years, Marge's Lakeside Inn, like that would be a spot that I would love to see the Hard Knocks crew go. Where else, do you think Hard Knocks is going to kind of set up camp here?
We've talked about this. Yeah.
It would be Marge's if they were following us.
Right. But I mean, that's a good point. And you never know. Maybe one of the players has been secretly just kind of hanging out in the front while we've been in the back of the shores,
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think it's the McDermott episode to Pittsford Dairy. It's him getting like the chocolate milkshake or like the hot fudge sundae as like, here's the other side of Sean McDermott you don't see. He's a family man that loves ice cream. Like you're going to get that part. There will be a golf episode at some point that will feature Josh Allen going to Oak Hill, playing golf with Bean and the rest of the quarterbacks. And Dom, the other one I'm 100% positive on is there will be a Catan episode at some point talking about Allen, Kincaid, Knox, and that kind of side. And that's, again, for the people in Buffalo kind of understand that. I think it'll be cool to see how much of a kid Josh Allen is. I think the national media understands how talented he is, but I don't know if the national media understands the jokes and the banter and the movie quotes and all of those things that we've kind of gotten to see behind the scenes. And if you're paying close attention, but it'll be really cool to see like the big kid that he is featured on the national stage.
Yeah.
Not to mention, too, this will be the first training camp we see as Josh Allen as a married man now. So I'm sure that's going to weasel its way into a storyline there as well. Talking just a little bit more about training camp, getting back to St. John Fisher. You guys hear this, and I know maybe the new stadium might change things here, too. For you guys, you're not traveling nearly as far to come to Buffalo, but you hear it every year, the chemistry. Do you always sense that maybe that kind of trip kind of bonds this team? I know there's a ton of cuts that happen. They're cutting 40 guys by the time they make this 53-man roster. But from your experience, being in that backyard, does Fisher really make a difference?
I do. And I think it sounds so cliche. I remember Sean McDermott's first season. He talked about how essentially all the players got together. And this was when Sean McDermott was a rookie head coach, and he had all the guys. This was before Josh Allen. All the guys kind of shared their backstory and what brought them to the Bills and what football means to them. And I remember Dan Fates, myself, and Mike Catalana talking about it and just being like, can that really make a difference for your football team? Like, is that really going to be the difference? But I feel like Fisher has supplied the glue for this team and the chemistry. And it's that getting away, being in a different location. A lot of these guys have families, they have responsibilities at home. So to take that piece out of it and just have the environment where it's constant team bonding and that ability to get that process started early on, I do think that it has really been the difference for this team. And I think every season it tells that story once again, that this is really beneficial. And I think Josh Allen loves it first and foremost. And I think the Bills brass does as well, just because the opportunity is unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Going off that with Jenna, like, I don't know if there is a tangible analytic that can point to what it is, but I'll say this: if the Bills didn't think that it was worth it, and if Josh Allen didn't want to do it, they wouldn't. Like,
Right.
if Josh said, I don't want to go live in a dorm for 2.5 weeks, they'd stop it. And like that, it goes up to that. And for fans that maybe the tickets are getting harder, or fans in Buffalo saying, this kind of stinks, like, why, having to drive to Rochester, be thankful that they go away for training camp and the access that they do give. For it's very few and far between of teams going away. They talk about like the Eagles. They may hold one open practice for all of training camp. It's at the stadium. The players are so up close and personal with the fans. If you are able to make it out to a training camp practice, it's an incredible experience, especially for young kids, like to get to see that. And like, that was me as a kid, like getting autographs from guys and being like, this is the coolest thing ever, getting towels and that little stuff. So it's a really cool experience. Right. And going back to it, Dom, they wouldn't do it if they didn't think it was worth it.
Absolutely. No. And I will continue this conversation. We're going to go to our first commercial break on the TV side, but when we come back, we'll talk about this. We'll talk a little bit more. Buffalo Plus just had their travel draft. We'll talk about that and more. Stick with us. You're watching Leading the Charge on 7 News. All right, we are in our first commercial break back on the stream here. Look at that. We have a comment from Bat Mauve. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Matt Bove. Have you guys heard about the turkey burgers? That's an episode right there. I mean, that's going to be a 15-minute segment right there. It's the turkey burgers, no?
I mean, Bove did that phenomenal story a couple years ago about
very good story.
The turkey burgers and the supremacy that they have and how highly regarded they are at camp, which also we've tried the turkey burgers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They're a turkey burger.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they're fine.
Yeah,
they're fine.
It's fine.
I think for me, the first year I had mine, I was like, wow, this was really good. It's probably a little bit different than the way they're preparing them in the player side of the kitchen compared to what they get to the media. But after like the second year, like we were there last summer, and I remember we got to a turkey burger day, and you said, I was like, okay, this is pretty exactly what I could get at Wegmans. There's no big difference in this.
Yeah, I'd say it's a questionable question from Matt Bove. I'm actually a bigger fan of Adam Bove. He's actually my favorite of all the Boves.
Yeah, I like Chef Boyardee Bove. That's probably number one, and then Matt Bove, of course, because gotta keep it up for team chemistry here. Is there like an underlying spot, guys, that people don't talk about that you could see like Hard Knocks also doing some sort of like off-site location in?
Could you see them going to Thirsties?
Yes.
Thirsties is like a small
Hole in
like
the wall.
the hole in the wall locals bar that like people in Pittsburgh go to. There's also Hungries that people will go to get food.
And that was a big thing through Netflix. That was like when the PGA was here last year. That was the Michael Block that they were like, this guy's incredible. And he's just drinking beers at Thirsties after. So I think there could be something there for sure. If Netflix is got, or if HBO is following Netflix's lead.
Yeah.
I am so on board if like Hard Knocks could get like Dwayne Carter, Ray Davis, and like Osiris Torrance, and just like a mix of like the guys and get them to the Strong Museum of Play and just let them like run around with the kids. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be cool too. Honestly, if you have not been to the Strong Museum of Play, it is a phenomenal museum in Rochester.
And I don't know if the garbage plate will come up. I'm on
like
the
it
fence.
will.
Really?
I'm on the fence.
I feel like it will.
Because some of the players don't even know about
garbage plates, you know?
That's the thing, is that like that's more of a local thing, but like the players, like when
Right.
we've talked to them about it, they're like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, and also like garbage plates are, at least for me, are better indulged after certain adult activities, but
That's fair.
we'll save that for when we maybe get back here. We got 10 seconds left. We're coming back on the TV side of things. All right, welcome back to Leading the Charge, everybody. Dan Fates, Jenna Cottrell from 13 Wham in Rochester and the Buffalo Plus podcast. You can find them anywhere you stream your podcast. I'll give you guys a chance to plug yourself before we let you off the hook here. So we talk a little bit about Hard Knocks. Training camp coming back to St. John Fisher, right in your backyards. Tomorrow, sure, we're going to see you guys at the first media day of OTAs. It's an exciting part of the offseason because you get so ever closer to mandatory minicamp. Then you have a couple weeks off, and then boom, training camp's right there. But I also think fans have to have a realistic expectation of OTAs. Like, it's exciting because football is back. You're hearing more about the rookies. But in terms of just what you guys have covered over the years and you attack an OTA as a fan, where do you kind of set your expectation to be? Jenna, I'll start with you.
I expect it to be May and there to be workouts. And like, honestly, I think there's not much you can glean from OTAs. I think it's who's there, who's not. And that's one of the first questions will be if James Cook will be there. Now, obviously this is voluntary in terms of whether guys have to be there. Mandatory attendance is at mandatory minicamp. So that's next month. So that's kind of a future thing. But I think for me, it's just seeing like, okay, what do guys look like? Are some of the new drafted players, are they really big or are they really fast? Or like kind of like what's the dynamic between groupings? Just kind of what is a first look at what this team could look like coming into the fall. So I think for me, it's like you have to temper expectations a little bit because you're so excited. But I think this is a piece in the offseason of like, all right, what are these guys going to be like out on the field? And is there anyone that sticks out in a good way or a bad way?
Yeah, I've been known to be a gambling man at times. And the first question I imagine Sean McDermott will be asked around 11 a.m. will be the attendance being held and is James Cook in attendance? To which, actually doing my research for tomorrow, I looked up the Merriam-Webster's definition of voluntary, which is something along the lines of, I forgot it already, but it's about the choice of one's will. So remember that this is voluntary. So this is where it kind of gets messy. And I remember when he wasn't there last month, James Cook, meaning at the again, a voluntary workout, Brandon Beane was like, hey guys, like don't look too much into it. Guys have things going on. He's right. And like, I can't stress the word voluntary enough, but that doesn't mean that we won't look into it at least a little bit. We'll look into it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think going along the same lines, I agree with what you both have had to say there. James Cook being there tomorrow, it's a voluntary workout, has a lower success rate than the GDAR campaign actually working out, in my opinion. So I'm not expecting it. I don't think any fans should get their nerves up if they don't see James there.
Yes.
I mean, Josh Allen might just be there to show some face, and then he might go off in his jet and go to his wedding that he has to get ready for here coming up soon. You guys also talked about it, hinted at it in the earlier block. You were in Orchard Park last week for the Hallmark movie press conference, and then we got to talk to Deion Dawkins, who now has a Protector of the Year award, which I think is really cool because I think Deion has done such a good job at solidifying himself as being one of those like most memorable all-time Bills. But for somebody, the three of us all have a relationship with Deion in a professional setting. It's just cool to see a guy like him get that recognition, that shine of creating an award in a category that was never there. What did you kind of get from your conversation with him?
Yeah, I think it stood out was just the fact of this was something that he like spoke into existence. And for an offensive lineman, we heard a lot about Josh Allen's MVP campaign and Dion being adamant of like, I'm never going to win MVP, but I'll get a piece of Josh if Josh wins it. And now to sit here and like, there are all pro linemen, and we heard about all pro Schno and that kind of journey for him, because individual recognition isn't everything, but it's something. And to kind of hang your hat on that. So now there's a new goal, I think, that can elevate yourself individually along with team success, I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's really cool to see that. And like we know, offensive line is not the sexiest position. It's not what everyone's talking about. It doesn't have the shine, but to have an award like that, and like what Dan said, you watch Dion speak it into existence. I think it's really cool to see. And I think for us being in Western New York, to see the voice that Dion Dawkins has created for himself and how he has been able to kind of get the spotlight and keep it, and also is trying to bring everyone up with him as well. I think it's really cool to see. So I'm excited to see how the award works and who wins it and all those things. But I mean, that's a lasting impact and a really cool thing that Dion helped create.
And it's also like somebody, again, who has this relationship with Dion the way that we do. We've been there for a couple years now, a guy who has rightfully deserved it. I think that's like the sweeter part of this on a personal level, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
Moving into kind of the last part of this block here, and I'm going to give you guys a chance to kind of shout where people can find you guys. But I was watching one of my favorite Buffalo Plus episodes every year. It's the travel draft. And Jenna Cottrell with an all-time move. I don't want to give away the spoilers, but Jenna, nice person award here.
I try to be a good friend.
So for those who, I'm not going to give away the city, Dan had a road trip that he really wanted to go to. And Jenna did a Nico Harrison, pulled off the worst trade ever existed, and gave Dan the first pick.
For the record, I knew what I was doing.
Well, I think Nico Harrison would have said the same thing.
I don't think.
We always pick the premise behind it is people always ask us like, how do you know which road games you're going to? And Jenna and I do a draft every year. Jenna, I had the first pick last year and stunned everybody by taking Baltimore and not Seattle. Yep. It was my birthday weekend. I didn't want to be away from my family. So Jenna had the first pick this year. I think there was one clear-cut number one overall pick, but much like the NFL draft, not a great draft class to travel to for Bills fans. No real exciting cities. And so Jenna, insert podcast, go check it out, was a very cool move.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of road trips, a little less plane flights for you guys. I don't travel nearly as much as Beauvais does, but, you know, I know you guys are going to be in the car rides mostly here too. Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap things up, guys. Buffalo Plus, where can people find you? How can they listen to you? And where do they go to do so?
Daniel.
Oh, I was setting it up for you, Jenna. Yeah, Buffalo Plus
sorry.
YouTube channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it as well. We've had Dom and Beauvais on as well. We work really well together. And then wherever you listen to your audio podcasts, Buffalo Plus is available there.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
We are Buffalo Plus. Leading the charge, Buffalo Plus. It's kind of like a brother from another mother kind of thing. We appreciate you guys. All big group hug. All right, we're going to go to a break on the TV side of things. Stay with us. We're going to be on the stream. We're going to send these guys off. You're watching Leading the Charge on 7 ABC. We'll be right back. Cool, guys. Thank you so very much for all the help tonight. Thank you for making your Memorial Day plans to come be here. Before you go, let's see if we have, Julia, see if we have a good question in there.
I like what John Robert had to say. I'm going to direct it to Dan. It's Dion Walker.
Incredible.
Just John, that's really good.
that was a
that's really good.
That was
a Buffalo Plus fan right there.
Like the amount, and like it wasn't fake. Like I wish I couldn't fake or act that what happened on that podcast. So
that's honestly giving us way too much credit that they thought it was.
And fake. I wonder if John Robert also remembers when I called him Cyrus O'Torrens. and I made him Irish. Like that
Super
also
Irish. Cyrus Torrance or Cyrus O'Torrance has a house in South Buffalo. He's at Doc Sullivan's right now.
Hey, there are so many times where I've messed up names that now I'm not sure at times what the real name is and have to really think about it. And now it's just like it's Cybo. Like I'm just going with that because I'm not even going to try.
That's fair.
I think the best part of that was like, it's one thing if it was like, oh, Caden Prather, right? The last draft pick in the draft class. Like you could have done something there. Deion Walker is the biggest dude on that field. So it's just, and then it's a funny one to like, you have a brain fart and you're like, woof.
And Dwayne Carter also being on there has been very tricky. So
30 out. Okay. Well, we are 30 seconds out now. Time flies when you're having fun, guys. Jenna, Dan, thank you so much. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it, Dom. You're
Much
the best.
love, Buffalo Plus. All right, we are getting ready to come back on the TV side of things. We'll wrap up. We'll answer a couple more questions, and actually, we'll talk about a championship team. All right, welcome back to Leading the Charge, everybody. Dan Face, Jenna Cottrell just signed off from 13 Wham in Rochester and Buffalo Plus. Appreciate them having the time to come on this Memorial Day. Go check them out anywhere you stream podcasts on their YouTube channel, Buffalo Plus. They do such a great job. Two of the best, along with Mike Catalana. I love Mike. Got to give some shout. But Beauvais brought Mike on, so I wanted to bring on Dan and Jenna to return the favor there too. So a couple questions here. We're getting there. John Robert, who made the very funny Deion Walker comment, if you're singing the tune, also asked, do you think the Bills will carry 5 or 6 wide receivers? It's so early. I think it's 5. But I will say, because I go through the kind of the immediate short list, this is so early on. At rookie minicamp, and again, it's against rookies, you have to see a little bit more. Caden Prather probably had the best day out of all rookies. Like he was fast, making moves, able to stretch the field a little bit vertically. Rookie minicamp, tamper your expectations. But I really did like what I saw from him. It was really good. Lori asked, what are they called again? I'm assuming you're asking for Dan and Jenna. That's Buffalo Plus. So go give them some love there too. While I'm talking about the conversation of love, it's not very often we get to branch out and talk about anything that's not the Buffalo Bills. But this past weekend, because we are in the city of good neighbors and Bills Mafia has a soft spot for Bandit Land, the Buffalo Bandits won their 3rd straight NLL title this past weekend, beating the Saskatchewan Rush 15-6 in front of a 19,000 plus packed out crowd at the KeyBank Center. I still think the roof is registering seismic activity. It was an electric scene. It was an electric atmosphere. And when we talked to some of the guys after the game, they've said it, the same thing that they said in the previous 2 titles, that the fans, Bandit Land, truly makes this experience one of a kind.
I've been fortunate as a player and now as a coach to experience this. And years ago, just after COVID, I remember telling the guys, you keep working hard, you're going to see what Bandit Land's all about. And, you know, they're getting an opportunity to experience that over the last 3-4 years.
This is what I dreamt of as a kid. Thousands of people watching, being in this game right here. There's no words for it. Like, I dreamt it as a kid, and this city is everything we need right here. And we're going to continue to do what we got to do every year to continue to bring this fun of this game back to the city.
Yeah, what a moment. Then there's the milkman, Connor Farrell, lifting that trophy up. It was just such a great atmosphere. Once again, you can never underestimate championships, how hard it is to win repetitive championships, but also do it back to back to back. So congratulations to Bandits, excuse me. It was a lot of fun to be there. Wrapping up the show here, guys. Send your final questions, comments. We have, Julia, about a couple minutes in or so? 1 minute to go. So what I will say, I want to talk about the Hard Knocks thing real quick. Matt Beauvais, my fearless leader, brought this up in a tweet. The Bills in the last year have contended for the AFC title. Josh Allen has won the MVP. They have a new stadium coming up here. There's so much good happening. And then the Hard Knocks, whether you like the off-season drama or not, I understand what kind of comes with Hard Knocks and how there's a little bit of that maybe manufactured drama that comes with Hard Knocks. But think about this, Bills fans. 10 years ago, this would have been an unfathomable thought for the Buffalo Bills organization to even be in this position, right? More notoriety. You have a superstar quarterback. You are continually competing for a Super Bowl. If getting on Hard Knocks and maybe having the manufactured drama is the small price to pay for the continued success of this organization, I think we all take it, right? it wasn't too far along, right? And then Ryan Fitzpatrick was trying to get us to 9-7. Now you have Josh Allen, an MVP, who's going to be married and is going to come back and probably compete for a second consecutive MVP, but more importantly, going and winning a Super Bowl as close to his hometown as you could be in the NFL. Do we need to wrap it up now? We have 30 seconds now. I've totally lost track of time of where we need to be. So, folks, thank you for spending part of your Memorial Day with us. We know how much this holiday means to the men and women who served in the armed forces and gave their ultimate sacrifice to give us the freedoms that we have every day. We thank you for tuning in. This has been another edition of Leading the Charge. Good night and be well. Beautiful. We're off. Stream, thank you, everybody. It's been another great Monday. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you guys at OTAs tomorrow. Matt and I will be there. A lot of fun. So, Bills football's back. See ya.